Welcome to Fundamentals of Sport and Fitness Management. I'm Lisa Augustine, your professor for this class. Just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I started off at Kent State University in physical education with a fitness concentration, decided I needed to get my master's to work in cardiac rehab, and stayed at Kent as a grad assistant to get my master's in exercise physiology. I worked in a fitness center doing personal training as well as coordinating the aerobic schedule. And then I got a job at Lorain County Community College as the fitness center director. Once I got married, my husband was up in Michigan, so I became the fitness director for the Internal Revenue Service for the IRS in Detroit, Michigan. Then a promotion brought my husband back to Ohio, which also led me to this current job for the past 11 years as the coordinator of the Sport and Fitness Management degree. So I'm going to be your advisor and mentor for the degree as well as the one-year certificate of completion for group exercise instructor or the certificate of completion, proficiency rather, for personal trainers. Slide 2. Now we're going to talk about choosing your career. First, you want to ask yourself where you want to work. In other words, do you want to stay in Northeastern Ohio, Ohio itself, the United States, or go global? Figure out what you want to do and where you want to do it. The perfect job needs to fit who you are and what you value, address the skills that you have to be successful, and then don't do something for anybody but yourself. In other words, if you have a family business that everyone feels you're entitled to go and carry on the tradition, don't do it unless you love that field. Slide 3, how do you plan for your career? Every semester, you will get notification by me as to when you can sign up for classes. For instance, over spring break, you can sign up for summer classes. At the beginning of April, you can sign up for fall classes. And then right around Halloween time in the fall, you can sign up for spring classes. If you have transferred from another institution, whether that's 2-year or 4-year, our advisor is Janet, and her information is located on slide 3. Feel free to make an appointment. Janet is your advisor for academic transferring. I'm your advisor for more counseling to let you know, for example, exercise physiology is the big one that you need to make sure you have anatomy and physiology as the prerequisite for. And exercise physiology is only offered in the spring and summer. And sometimes in the summer we don't have enough people to justify it. So if you don't take anatomy and physiology in the fall, you will be a year behind in the coursework. So it's very important just to touch base, either email or in person or even a phone call regarding your schedule each semester. With this class, you're entitled to, or you're responsible rather, to do 2 laboratories. That could be from anywhere in the book. But one of my favorite one is Laboratory 1.1, which talks about a personality indicator. There's a couple that you can try that I have links to here, but understanding your personality is going to help you not only in your career, but your personal life as well. And one of the silly ones that I like to try is the 5 love languages. It's a quick read. It's a good book that talks about if you are a physical love, if you are a gift giver, if you know someone loves you because they give you words of affirmation or positive words. Maybe you're a quality time person or you're an acts of service. Those are the 5 different love languages. They actually have that for careers and working with your boss. So a great little read as an educational, informative one, but not something I'm going to quiz you on. Slide number 5. Myers-Briggs is more of a professional personality indicator that will tell you if you are more extrovert versus introvert, if you are a sensor versus intuitive, if you're a thinker or a feeler, judging versus perceiving. You can take one of these assessments online, and that will count as your Laboratory 1.1, 10 points for doing it. From this, you can tell where your strengths lie and pick a career in health or fitness or outside of the field that best suits your personality. One of my quick and easy ways of assessing if you're extrovert versus introvert is to imagine that, let's say I was to take all of us in this class to Ruby Tuesdays for a fun dinner and party. I rented the whole restaurant. There's a DJ. You're allowed to bring your friends and family members. Everything's on me. At the end of the night, if you go home and you're so charged up about it, you wanted to call people, it was hard for you to fall asleep, then you fed off the energy from the crowd, and that means you're an extrovert. On the flip side of that, if in general, social settings, you may look like you're on, having a great time, but you come home and you're exhausted, in other words, it took a lot of energy out of you to interact with people, you may be an introvert. And there's pluses and minuses to all of these personality indicators. Slide number 6 talks about values. You'll need to know the term value for the exam, but intrinsic means things that are important to you internally, what you feel you value in your personal life and professional life. Extrinsic values are things that are influenced from the outside world, and you could read about those definitions in your book. Slide 7 gives you 2 more terms that you'll need to know for the exam. Skills are things that you do well, and aptitudes are those strengths that are genetically predisposed to help you do well. I know so many people who have gifts, genetically gifted to do football and basketball and track, but then are not motivated and maybe fall into the wrong crowds. And for example, one gentleman I went to high school with was gifted to be a letterman in every single sport he tried, but then fell into a life of drugs and alcohol and ended up flunking out of college. So skills and aptitudes are very important, but the third missing link is motivation. 6 specific skills that you need for the workplace are listed here, and this actually they list 7. Technology fluency, communication skills, teamwork, leadership, problem solving, and creativity. All of these things are addressed in our curriculum in the ropes course class. We have a high and low ropes challenge course, PEFT 185, that's part of our degree, as well as problem solving in exercise physiology 1, exercise physiology 2, exercise management for special populations, and our internship class, which I'll talk about in a moment. On slide 8, you'll notice that there's an opportunity for you to gain your 50 points for your observation through hands-on experience. When you go to observe a fitness professional, so pick a place that you'd like to go and work at. For instance, it could be a YMCA, EMH Health and Fitness, cardiac rehab. Any place is fine as long as you email me ahead of time. Just want to make sure that they're certified and or degreed. But you're going to learn from both positive and negative experience. So if it's, wow, I'd love to do that, maybe later on in your curriculum you'd like to go there for an internship. If, however, you did not have a positive experience, learn from that and then figure out how you would do their job better. So volunteer service, community service, giving back to other is so important in our field, as well as any job application and scholarship. So if you have opportunities to give to others in the form of maybe Special Olympics, for example, in February we always host at Lorain County Community College, or working as an intern or a student aide in our pre and post fitness assessments with our group exercise classes. Those would be great ways to not only gain field experience, hands-on experience through volunteerism. Slide 9 speaks about our internship and co-ops. You will be required to take practicum seminar in your final semester here at LCCC, whether that's the degree or the certificate. During that 105 hours out in the field, you will apply everything you've learned in our degree. So maybe it's at the YMCA and you're working with phase 3 cardiac rehab patients and you develop an incentive program or you have a newsletter. You'll be required to log those hours and then hopefully you'll get a job from that. We do have on-campus opportunities for people who have issues with regards to transportation. So you can shadow different people. You can help in the fitness center. Doug Herndon's always looking for pre and post assessment volunteers, and other examples are listed here. LCCC has many different clubs on campus. We have everything from the Anime Society to the Dance Dance Revolution Club. Find something that excites you and get involved because you need a social outlet. If you would like to join a professional organization, you can get the student rate, which for me as a professional, I pay about $100 a year to belong to the American College of Sports Medicine. You can get a discounted student rate, which ranges between $35 and $50. When you are considered a student, you also get liability insurance discounts. So if you're at a facility such as a church that maybe contracts you to come in and do group fitness classes or large group personal training, you need to make sure you have your own liability insurance. And as a professional, it costs about $200 a year, but as a student, you get that discounted rate as well. When you are an LCC student, your liability insurance falls under the college. Let me rephrase that. When you go out and do your observation, when you go out and do your internship, LCCC has insurance for you. You don't have to carry your own liability insurance. That would just be when you're out on your own with your degree or certificate and your national certification. Slide 11 talks about goal settings. When you make goals, whether that's personal goals or professional goals or even fitness goals, they need to be SMART. And that SMART acronym stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. You want to figure out, is it specific enough? In other words, I want to lose 20 pounds before I get married versus I'd like to lose a pound a week. That's much more specific. Measurable. You want to make sure you can have a pre and post assessment to make sure that that goal is getting achieved. And then finally, getting organized. You can choose to be a Palm Pilot or a BlackBerry person. Maybe you do well with Post-its or just filing it around mentally in your brain. Have a method, have a plan to get organized. And you need to schedule yourself for not only class time, but study time and exercising time as if it was a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment. Getting organized is the key that'll help you have that competitive edge over the rest of the people looking for that same job. And then you could read that quote that I found from page 9. You may find that you'd like a career opportunity in health. Maybe it's a teaching career, or it could be a health promotion or wellness director. And there's different careers in physical education that involve teaching, as well as other ones that you can investigate from this book, Chapter 1. In health, it could be teaching careers. So for slide number 13, what decisions do I need to make? You do need to be timely with all of your assignments. You do need to start a resume and cover letter, which we'll cover in the next few chapters, and you do need to take action. That's even in this class. Network with somebody, exchange emails, have study groups, have somebody that you can talk to that's in a land-based class that if you miss the information or are sick, you can network, because these people are probably going to be your coworkers later on in life. So networking now with friends as well as your other professors and even the people you do for your observation is key. And finally, career opportunities from slide number 12. In sport, there are many different opportunities with regards to sports camps, conditioning classes, sports at the Pee-wee level all the way to the elementary school, middle school, high school, and collegiate level. But realize as you get up to the professional sports careers, the job opportunities are fewer and fewer. And sometimes it's not what you know, but who you know. So keep that in mind when you set up your ideas for your internships and your observation. Thank you, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next few chapters.